Hey guys, this is Long Haul Larry, and we're not with Big Blue. Well, it is Wednesday, it's 4 p.m. and I say we're going to start heading up. I'm probably not going to run all the way to Minnesota. I got all the stuff cleaned up, most of the limbs, all the big stuff has all been cleaned up, it's all been good. We're going to take off now. And I actually have gotten a coupon from the Ho Chunk Casino for a free night. So there is a Ho Chunk in Black River Falls, which will be in just about in Clare, Wisconsin. It's 40 minutes away or so from the state line of Wisconsin and Minnesota. And I decided, you know what, I got everything done, I got everything packed up. I think we're good. So I decided I'm just gonna take off, and I actually need to run up to Green Bay first, which kind of sucks. It's gonna cost me about another hour, but I guess the truck is done. And so I'm gonna run up there and I am going to pick up Big Blue, and I'm gonna run Big Blue over to the Kenworth dealership and basically get the dash lights fixed and the lights on the back of the cab. Those don't work either. So I'm gonna get those two things fixed, drop it off there, and then I'm going to have to get a taxi, I guess, back from the Kenworth dealership back to the rental car here. But my oldest brother and his wife showed up, and the guy that's renting the trailer, he was out there with his four-wheeler, and me with the four-wheeler, and of course my mom, the supervisor, was running around directing us all. And we got that place cleaned up pretty fast. I would say about 2-3 hours we got it pretty cleaned up. We hauled many loads of limbs out of there. This here, this farm on the left, these were like, that was like my best friend when I was growing up. Well, one of them. Kind of had two of them, but I used to walk. I used to walk across the fields and actually, just walk across the field. I used to help them milk all the time. I used to help them on the farm baling hay, blah blah blah, all this stuff. So I thought I'd actually bring you guys up. This is the large metropolis of Armstrong, and I hear there's a lot of storm damage up here. It's probably, a lot of it's probably cleaned up, but last night I came up here, you couldn't even get through here. You can see some limbs laying on the ground right there by that house. Oh, you still can't get through. There is actually a tree laying right across the road. See this here? They still haven't done this. So we'll turn around and go around the other way. There's a guy up here that we have personally known for a long time. And he had a business, but then he sold it. And he kind of did a retirement thing, but he built just some small little machine shop up here, and he does a lot of work. Just people come up to him and making stuff and working on stuff, fixing stuff. And he has a nice little business. So a tree snapped off right here on the right. All them trees are just laying in there. This used to be the Mary Lore Market. It was two sisters. They had a little grocery store in there. This here is Ottery Trucking. You guys probably heard me talk about that. This is where they based out of. Sorry about that. I guess my battery in my camera was dead, so I just quick jumped in the back and grabbed a new one out of my bag. From what I understand, so this is the guy with the machine shop. He built this just a few years ago. And you can see here, the whole roof came off. actual roof just came right off of that thing. It's all laying across the road and these people's houses and everything. It's not good. Got a bunch. This is where all the power lines were down. You can see all the power lines is hanging down. Trees all laying all in there. There's trees over here on the, oh man, there's trees all over here on the left just laying down. Trees in there uprooted. There's a couple of trees snapped in their front yard. For what I understand, coming down Vista Drive here, this is pretty bad. Just go up here and then turn around. See another tree on the left there. The whole root system is just uprooted. I don't know where it is, but I hear that there is a farm out here someplace that the whole barn came down and all their cows were inside the barn. And it fell right, they had their cows in there because it was getting time for milking in the evening or whatever, so the cows had gone inside the barn and then the barn actually collapsed. The last thing I heard was that they were trying to dig them out, that they could hear cows in there still alive and everything else, and they were trying to dig them out. You can see this was completely covered right here. Somebody sat out here with a skid loader. Their door to the machine shed is actually pushed right in. It looks like to me like some trees actually fell right across the road here. Somebody sat out here with an excavator or a skid loader and pushed it all back in there and cut all the trees up. So from what I understand is that there's people, they have people out here evaluating everything, and they're trying to figure out if there was actually tornadoes, if there was small tornadoes that hit around in here. From what I understand, there was one sighted over by Lamira, which is about probably about 12 to 15 miles west of here, straight west of here. Oh, look at that, the end of the barn is gone. That wasn't like that. That's new. It's all laying out there in the field. And it came through and it hit all this, and my parents, you guys saw all that damage. And from what I understand, over on H, my brother came that way earlier, and over on H they actually had some of the cornfields are actually blown right down. So wind wouldn't do that. That's got to be actual, and that's a little tornado or something hit that. And I think that they need it to be a tornado. I don't know about these houses and all this stuff, but I think that farmer that has that cornfield, he needs it to be a tornado so that his insurance claims it and everything. Oh, looks like they're about ready to cut some wires up there. That's a mess right there, boy. A lot of cleanup and all around this country. Out here meeting everybody at their homes and looking at the damage and stuff. And I guess the insurance adjuster was saying, hey, I'm going to be at your house. Well, there's corn all knocked down. See on the left? Look at all that. Now that was a tornado. I'll tell you that right now. That whole cornfield is just knocked right down. So he was, they said they were going to be there, so we were just finishing up, and I heard him talking on the phone, and he was like, oh, okay, I'll try to get there real quick, and I heard him talking, and I was like, I got the rest of it, just go. So he took off. That cornfield's laying down too. Well, I heard over by Oakfield, which is straight west of here. What is it, like 10, 12 miles, something like that. West of Fond du Lac here, kind of a little south. But I guess they got hit pretty bad over there too. Which is not good because that town got hit by a tornado a long time ago. It was, I'm going to guess, like 10, 15 years ago. It took out a lot of houses and stuff, so hopefully that didn't happen again, but I heard they got hit pretty good. And that's kind of where Oakfield, Elmira, where the tornado was sighted, so. I forgot about this road being closed. So I am gonna have to turn around and go down that little side road there. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'll catch you guys up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Well, guys, we are not picking up Big Blue. I guess it is ready with the head. It is ready to go, but it had a couple little oil leaks that I wanted taken care of too. I figured since it's into a Cummins dealer, I figured they're the engine guys. So one of the oil leaks was on the steering pump, and I told them, I said, could you just replace the gasket, put a new gasket on there, tighten everything up, that should fix the leak. And they said that they did do that. That was no problem. Took care of that. The other one was at the rear of the engine, and I couldn't really see anything back there because you really got to get into it to see what's going on. And I guess that they were wondering if it was from the valve cover leaking and stuff like that. And I guess they put some dye in it, in the oil, and then ran it, and they said it's coming back from the flywheel. So it's either the main seal is leaking, or maybe there's a gasket. I'm not sure how the Cummins work. There might be a gasket that's back there on a cover or something like that that's leaking. So it's just a very little bit of a leak, but it needs to be addressed. So I guess they talked to Boss Man and told him about it, and he said, well, okay, well, give me an estimate on fixing it. And they said, okay, we'll have something to you by morning, but nobody seemed to let me know that this was going on. So I drove up here and stood in line, and they got to me, and I said, I'm here to pick up the ADL truck. And he was like, that's not done yet. I was like, okay. So I made a few phone calls and figured out what was going on, and I said, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm going Minnesota. So he was wondering if I could do it, and yes, I could. The transmission would have to be split. So this is not a quick little couple hour deal or something like that. I mean, you got to split the transmission and everything. And the people in there, they said it's rated at 10 to 12 hours. So that's probably about right, to split the transmission, you know, fix whatever seals, you know, leaking, everything else, and put it back together. And Boss Man was like, could you do it? And I'm like, yeah, I could do it. But it's not going to be like deliver a Shauna load and then, you know, fix this on a Sunday afternoon. And he was like, all right. He goes, let's see what the estimate is. If it's a fair one, then we'll just get it fixed. So I said, okay, I'm out of here. I'm going to Minnesota. Stop bothering me. So there we go. I'm off like a herd of turtles. And I just got off the phone with Black River Falls, the whole chunk. And I actually called them up and said, hey, I got coupons from the whole chunk of Wisconsin Dells for a free hotel. Will you guys give me a free hotel if I come over there? And they did some checking and everything else, and they checked my player card and all this, and they came back and said, sure, come on over, we'll give you a free hotel. So I said, I'm in Green Bay, I'm on my way. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope that everyone out there is having themselves a great day, great night as you're watching this here video. And if you are not, well, we certainly could change that, and we can head on over to the Ho Chunk Casino in Black River Falls I hope I don't lose any money. But seriously, we can just always try it again tomorrow, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.